The amount of energy in those people's brains during that moment of the only way that I could describe it is connection.
Mm-hmm.
That moment produced such a level of energy in the brain that it was hundreds of times normal. And then when we see these very, very high degrees of energy in the brain at the same time, we're seeing a high level of order. Now, not just a little order, not a lot of order, like a supernatural amount of order.
When you say order, Joe, do you mean the coherence between the brain and the heart, or what do you mean by order when you say that?
Okay, so if you're late for an appointment, you got to pick your kid up, there's 10 texts you have to answer, and something went wrong at the office. The arousal of the stress hormones causes us to move into that primitive nervous system of survival. And when we're in stress, we're trying to control, we're trying to predict, we're trying to organize our life because that unknown is something can go wrong, it's unpredictable. So we shift our attention to one person, to another meeting, to another place we have to go, another time, another thing we have to do, and every single one of those elements has a neurological network in our brain because you've experienced your wife, you've experienced your coworker, you experienced your pain in your back, your cell phone, whatever. You have a relationship with everything physical and material. And it's mapped neurologically in the brain. In fact, the neocortex is really a record of the past, right? So the arousal of those stress hormones causes us to shift our attention to all of these different elements, and we activate those circuits. And like a lightning storm in the clouds, the brain starts firing very incoherently. And when the brain is incoherent, we're incoherent. And when the brain isn't working right, we're not working right. At the same exact time, you're sitting in traffic. You can't really run. There's nowhere to run. You can't really fight. There's no one to fight. And, you can't really hide. And so the arousal of this primitive nervous system causes the heart, its rate to increase and a respiratory rate to increase because that was the mechanism of survival. If you're being chased by T-Rex, you better increase your heart rate and your respiratory rate.